welcome to the show again, buddy. Tell us about where you are and what you got going on in the background.
Thanks, Blake. I'm so happy to join you again. I'm here in Giza, Egypt, at the site of the three Great Pyramids. And I got to tell you, when I was driving in yesterday from the airport, you get that first glimpse of the Great Pyramid, Khufu, and it just filled me with this ancient wonder. And it's a feeling that's very hard to describe, but there's a lot of theories that go into who built these pyramids. Was it the Egyptians? How long ago was it? But yeah, that first feeling of seeing the pyramids was just surreal. And it's a place that I've been dying to visit my entire life, and I'm so thrilled to be here. Haven't been inside yet. That's today. I'm excited to get into the King's Chamber, follow Robert Edward Grant's research. So I'm going to get in there and sing 117 hertz as loud as I can. Hopefully not scare the other tourists, but I'm going to sing
Yeah,
and see what happens, because he says at that frequency, at that resonant frequency, you'll hear like a whoop, 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 whoop sound. So there's a
yeah.
lot of kind of hidden ancient knowledge and frequency and vibration that's making its way back into the human collective. And I'm a big fan of that. Frequency's been such a big part of my life. And that was the reason that I came here to Giza to explore these ancient secrets.
Graham Hancock has written a bunch of books on ancient structures, and he's another one that has just kind of pulled the veil back a little bit. That he keeps saying things keep getting older. And there's a spot called Gobekli Tepe that's that predates the pyramids, maybe even more so. So yeah, dude, I'm kind of a little jelly of you in Giza right now, and I feel like I got to do it too. So, but as we kind of discussed the last time we chatted, one of the things that I got a lot of feedback from, and I kind of shared with you, what did people like, and people resonated with kind of what you said, and what we touched on is that breath work is more powerful than psychedelics and pharmaceuticals. And I was very surprised that got, just because I didn't know, I have no idea, but that got so much feedback on LinkedIn. Every bit of place I put it out, it just boom, popped people's interest. And I asked Kelly, I was like, "Babe, look at this. This is kind of interesting. It's just organic." And she's like, "Blake, people are looking for answers, and like they want to find something." I'm like, "Shit, yeah, you're right." It's like, because it's not external, it is all in here. And that is the key. And I'll kind of turn it over to you now to kind of get your thoughts on that as well. Because again, I think it even touches on when you're singing inside of those chambers, because they are made from a very specific quartz slash marble, granite, something like that. So, and it resonates at a particular frequency. And so, let's go into
Right.
that, bro.
So just to tie in the pyramids, I mean, there's this huge debate. How did they build these? Who built them? Um, and in the hieroglyphs, there's pictures of Egyptians dragging stones across the desert, and there's a guy in the front of the sled pouring the water, and they said, "Oh, well, he poured it on the sand to reduce the friction so they could drag these massive granite blocks from the quarry down in Aswan, which is hundreds of miles away." So you can imagine what it would take to bring all of that block up the Nile. Some
Yeah.
people think they floated it in the river. But the part I want to talk about is, how do you get it up to this level, hundreds of
Right.
feet up in the air, not having cranes, not having our quote unquote modern technology? Well,
Bro, just
there's this
slaves, and the slaves have that ability. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
so there's this idea of levitation, and
Yeah.
when most people think of, mind power or telekinesis, it kind of seems like it's like, oh, well, that's something from a movie. That's Jedi mind tricks. Why do they make all those movies? So if just to kind of talk about how you could levitate something, sound or frequency creates everything. So if you picture a block on the ground, there's still a little sliver or air pocket between the molecules from the block and the ground, the surface it's on. So if you introduce frequency, which could be sound, it could be chanting, it could be from a musical instrument. There's a lot of different sacred geometry and patterns in music that are absolutely insane. It will blow your mind. As Edward Case says, if you want to know everything there is, just learn music and you'll know everything that you need to know. But if
Yeah.
you introduce that frequency, Okay, now what do you need to pick something up? You need to you need the amplitude, you need a power source. So when we think of that, we think of electricity, but there's kind of a more subtle power source, and we would call that subtle energy. So potentially you could pick up these blocks. So with the frequency in, now you need the amplitude. So what's the amplitude come from? It comes from human, your subtle energy. So if you go back in time, if you think to like ancient priests or, just very connected people, now if you put them in a big group, which we'll segue into with breath work, you multiply those energies. So is it possible to raise a block up in the air with a bunch of priests chanting very sacred frequencies? Absolutely. I kind of lean towards that theory of how this was built. Um, and what was it, the Egyptians that built the Giza complex, or is this something that they just fell in on and then attempted to replicate it? Now, where would the evidence be for that? Well, there's a bent pyramid that's kind of tilted to its side. There's a bunch of pyramids here that have collapsed. So behind me, we have perfection. If you get into the measurements and just how perfect the Great Pyramid is, and then you look at the rest of them, it almost seems like they were just trying to replicate something that was already here.
Yeah, poor
Um,
imitation.
yeah, just poor imitation. So they're all theories, but no one has the truth, but you can kind of look at history and everything that's around and come see it for yourself and find that deeper truth. So it talked about people getting together and multiplying energies. Subtle energy is a term that's not quite defined in the West. I had never heard this growing up or had it explained to me. There's many different names for it. Chi, prana, life force, odd. I mean, there's literally 20 different names. So when you
Yeah.
look at history and all these civilizations, and they each have a name for this force or this spirit, or if you want to go to the movie route, it would be Star Wars, use the force. It's it's something that's hard to define, but it's something that we are redefining as a species in curing ourselves of diseases of the mind, of the body through breath work.
Yeah.
And as you said, Kelly, your wife mentioned that people are looking for answers. They're looking for this higher purpose, this calling. And that's where, again, on our last call, I mentioned there's many different modalities you can use, and I have found that breathwork is the most powerful one. So all through recorded history, there's a guy, James Nestor, that wrote an excellent book, The New Science of the Lost Art. And in it, he talks about through all these different cultures, he found that when you breathe at a rate of 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out, which will work out to about 5.5 minutes, 5.5 breaths per minute, and 5.5 liters of air. So there's some really spooky symmetry going on. But the benefits that it has for you are incredible. It increases the blood flow to your brain, the functions of the heart, the nervous system, and your circulation go to peak efficiency. All different cultures, whether it's Ave Marias on the rosary beads, Native Americans, Jewish
Yeah.
culture, they all figured this out and they've been practicing it. So it's prayer. Basically, you're praying with your breath and you're purifying your own body and reestablishing that connection to your soul, to your spirit, and your true essence. And in that dedication or that offering you're making to yourself and to the higher power that you believe in, it's really it's evident that that power is giving you back health and helping you reestablish that connection between your mind, your body, and your spirit. So let's go to PubMed. How do they define it? It's on the internet. You can look all this up. But when you get into this breathing pattern, what they're called are Mayer waves. So those are defined as oscillations of arterial pressure occurring spontaneously in conscious subjects at a frequency lower than respiration, i.e., slowing down your breathing. So there's the scientific modern day definition in the West. Now, if you think of that term Mayer waves, no, if you walked up to 1,000 people on the street, no one's ever heard of that term. But basically, there's a definition of basically what the energy is doing to your body as you slow down and get into this resonant breathing pattern. So sonic resonance, or what I described about levitating blocks to potentially build something as perfect as this, is the same thing that you're doing to your body when you get into a rhythmic breathing pattern. So it's very simple. It's roughly 5.5 seconds. You don't have to be perfect, but if you take 5 to 10 minutes per day and just breathe, slow down, get to a quiet place. You can be laying down, sitting down, but that's the beauty of it. You don't have to do yoga. You don't have to meditate. A lot of people, that turns them off. You can just take a few minutes each day, get into this pattern, which we'll go through here in a second, and it does wonders for the body. It's just absolutely, after a few weeks, you can see the changes occurring. And after 9/11, there were so many firefighters and office workers running away from buildings that they breathed in all that junk that was in the air. So they basically got ground glass lung syndrome because they had all this crap.
And asbestos from the buildings too.
It's just horrible. You can imagine breathing all that in that day. Not only that, but with all that stress and trauma running through you through that traumatic event. So the folks that worked with them with this technique saw marked improvement within a few months in clearing that all out. So as we exhale, you're actually detoxing stuff out of your body. A lot of people think detox and getting toxins out is only down, but it's actually out through your breath as well. So these are just things that we aren't taught, but you're making a big comeback. And I'll say it here. You heard it here first. You're going to see in the next 10 years, breathwork instructors and breathwork groups getting together, whether it's friends with someone leading it or going one-on-one with someone. This is going to replace personal training. Your lungs, your lung capacity, that is the marker for your health, for your longevity. It's not about living to 90 and being miserable. It's about how quality your years are along the way, how much energy you have, whether or not you need, 6 cups of coffee to make it through your day, the quality of your sleep. And people are waking up to this. So I truly believe that's a shift that's occurring right now. People aren't going to go to the gym and focus on, getting your squats and your bench press in. They're going to start going to meetups to breathe and to learn more and more. But this is the foundation, this rhythmic breathing pattern. And again, it's roughly 5 to 5.5 seconds in and out. And the exercise that we can do, I'm going to add one more thing into that. But as I said, again, you could do it sitting on the train, going from Brooklyn into Manhattan, going to work. Nobody knows you're doing it. You're just sitting there breathing consciously. You can put on, some calming music. But you can do it anywhere, and it's always available.
I think it's a great thing. Fake it till you make it. You don't have to fucking tell anybody. And again, I think this is the power of it, where I've done this. I've kind of done breath work probably after I got out of the military, but Kelly's done it for a while, and I would do it just at different times. And it's, 60 seconds of some type of small breathwork exercise, and even 60 seconds makes a fucking difference. And it's just like a reset the scales of the mind, body, spirit really quickly. Not a lot, but sometimes that's all you need. And it's, don't tell anybody, right? I think that's the things like, hey, you're a pussy, don't be a fag. Like all of these macho bullshit statements around it. But really, like, do you want to be healthy? Do you want to have a sharp mind? Do you want to expel the amyloid plaque that's built up? Yes. I want to be, I want to have all that. And it's this simple, right? It's so simple. Sorry, I'm getting excited, but continue.
No, absolutely. And again, the big reminder is, because yoga or the term meditation turns a lot of people off. Some people actually think that meditation is communing with the devil or an evil presence. There's all kinds of wild theories out there.
Right.
Going back in America since the 20s, when reefer madness was going on and yogis started coming from India to America to teach, and Kundalini, this idea of raising energy, became like, oh, it's a devil, it's a serpent rising, and it's going to take over your mind and make
Right.
you go crazy. So it's kind of it's not even a battle between East and West anymore,
Right.
because as Kelly said, the people are looking, and if you need a scientific definition of your communing with God or the higher power that you believe in, it's that when you get into this pattern, these Mayer waves are produced,
Yeah.
and that's all there is. It's there's physiological changing happening. It's changes happening, your body connecting as you get into this pattern with your essence, with your spirit, and you get purified. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to start. And from there, you move into more complex breathwork techniques that just help you more and more, and you just get hooked on it. As
Yeah.
they say, it's getting high on your own supply. But I say
Yeah.
to people, if you see these videos advertising for, deep breath work, and you see these people on the ground like huffing and puffing, yeah, that's something you wouldn't get into for like years of practicing breath work. And I'm not quite sure why that's marketed so heavily, because it took me 6 years, even while practicing yoga and doing breathing, because in breath work I'm sorry, in yoga, you breathe consciously, you breathe slowly in and out through the nose, and it clears your mind and it connects you with the posture, and it just makes you feel really good. I had been doing that for 6 years before I truly made the connection to
Yeah.
how important breath work is outside of yoga, just doing it as a self care routine. And as I said on our last call, it's the most powerful tool that I've found and incorporated into my life. Um, suffered from crippling anxiety, bouts of heavy depression. And if anyone out there is going through that, man, I would absolutely recommend to start with breathwork, because it's just, and get with a breathwork coach, talk to your friends, your
Right.
networks, and get some folks together and just set the stage and start breathing. It's very powerful. When people get together, those Mayer waves, that subtle energy, it multiplies. And it's just like God or whatever higher power you believe in is like, yes, do it. Get whole, get right,
Yeah.
get
Yeah. And I think
powerful.
that's
That's you created in my image. Do it. Make it
right. And
happen.
I think that there's some misconception that it's you have to seek something else, right? As you just said, it's like, no, man, it's right here. It's right in front of you. It's yours. There is nothing more powerful than what you are. Like to be connected to source, be it Christ consciousness, be it whatever term you want. It's all right here.
Right. So I thought we could finish up with just a couple rounds. I can lead you through it,
Yeah.
and with hopes that it'll inspire your viewers out there to try it out. And if you're on this video, feel free to join in. So just go ahead and I'll go ahead and explain it again. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna inhale for 5 seconds, and I'll count this for you. And you can imagine it in a triangle. So this is the first side of the triangle. And then immediately we're gonna exhale for 5 seconds. And then we're gonna do a breath hold. So you're gonna be holding without air. And when you do that, you just want to lightly close your throat and relax. And you have plenty of oxygen. You won't be gasping for air. But it'll be that same count of 5 seconds. So again, it's a triangle of an inhale, kind of like this pyramid. Inhale, exhale, and hold.
Got it.
And when you do this, a good way to clear your thoughts is just to focus on your breathing, to feel that air coming in. We're going to do this in and out through the nose. There's a lot of benefits to breathing in and out through your nose. And
Don't be a
you want
mouth
to
breather,
connect,
bro.
you want to connect at the tops. We're going to try to not take a pause, but have it
Okay.
connected. And here's the important thing. You have big lung capacity. So when I say inhale, you don't want to go and fill all the way up and then have, 3 more seconds to where you're just kind of hanging out. Like I'm waiting for him to say exhale, but it's
Yeah.
just a nice, smooth, like inhale, but it's going to be slower, because remember, it's 5 seconds, and you want to
Got it.
match the rate of the count you're doing. And as you learn to breathe better, you'll get really good at this, at matching the rate. And that's where all the good stuff happens. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and take an inhale and exhale. One more grounding breath. Inhale and exhale. And let's get started. In 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. One more round. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And go ahead and get back to your regular breathing pattern. Notice any sensations in your head and your body. And
Feels good.
this exercise you can do laying down, you can do seated, you do it on the bus, you can do it at home, you do it laying in bed is a good time to put yourself to sleep. How do you feel, Blake?
Feel good, dude. I've also done it reminds me of box breathing as well, or about 5 second box breaths. The same one where it's like this focused effort around pushing all the air out, letting all the air in, and it just yeah, I mean, I do it and I like and I enjoy it. And sometimes I have to put, sometimes a sleep or take a nap or a meditation where I put that on for somebody to do it for me. So just to kind of have that, I'm busy, whatever. Hey, just do it because, I like to have that, somebody else kind of walking you through a 10-minute meditation breath work, something like that. But yeah, I love it. I feel almost a little lightheaded, but more kind of like the blood flow. I feel it,
And
it's
that's
always
I'm
good.
glad you brought that up because getting lightheaded or that the feeling of subtle energy and getting lightheaded or oh this is
Yeah.
hurting me, those can be mixed up,
Yeah. Yeah.
confused. So the beautiful thing about the body is if you're worried about that, if that's a concern for you, do your breath work laying down. Because in the design of the human body, if you were to pass out, which I assure you, you won't pass out from doing this 5 second simple exercise. But the body just kicks in and starts breathing again.
I see. Yeah.
I've done pretty intense breath work exercises for like an hour. And it's just something you work your way up to. And I want to circle back again to the rate. You want to inhale and imagine you have this container and you have 5 seconds, but to fill it, but the more consistency you get with keeping the same rate of inhale to fill that container and the same rate
Yeah.
to empty
Right.
it, the more powerful the exercise becomes,
Yeah.
the more energy is generated, heating of the body. And again, science, let's not talk energy, let's talk Mayer waves. Go to
Yeah.
PubMed. This is all out there. There's your connection with that higher power. It's
Yeah.
creating these Mayer waves inside of you. Um, but yeah, Blake, it was an honor to join you here again. Of all places, I think
Yeah, dude.
one of the most ancient wonders of the world. And I'll be heading in here today to the Great Pyramid, and I'm smitten. I can't wait to get in the King's Chamber and just to feel an amazing tool that was put on this planet by who we don't know, but it's here, it's perfect, and I'm so ready to get in there.
Well, man, have thank you for your time, and I'm glad we set this up because this was a unique kind of experience, and so I'm glad we got to share your knowledge. That background is pretty wild, and what you do, man. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated.
My pleasure, Blake. Have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. See ya.